Violent banging woke me at midnight. My son was outside with a sledgehammer, screaming, "I'm coming in!" I froze. Suddenly a calm voice behind me whispered, "Let them, I'll handle this." I opened the door. When they saw who was standing beside me, their faces went pale. Let me back up. My name is Frank Holloway, 57 years old. Auto body repair specialist for 36 years. I've rebuilt transmissions, hammered out dents, welded frames back together. I know metal. I know pressure. I know when something's about to break. And I knew my son was about to break my door down. The banging came in waves. 3 hard strikes, pause, 3 more. The old wood shuddered in its frame. I was sitting in my recliner, half asleep, watching some late-night talk show I didn't care about. The sound cut through everything. "Dad! Open the damn door!" That was Tyler, my son, 29 years old, married 3 years, works at a call center downtown, complains about it constantly, drinks too much on weekends, and apparently owns a sledgehammer I never knew about. "I know you're in there. Open up, or I'm coming through." I stood. My knees popped. My back ached. I moved to the window and pulled the curtain back an inch. Tyler stood on my porch, sledgehammer raised. His wife, Vanessa, stood behind him, arms crossed, face twisted in that expression I'd come to know too well. The look that said I was garbage, that I was in their way, that I was something to be removed. The streetlight caught the rain. It had been raining for 3 days straight. Cold autumn rain that soaked through everything. The leaves on my lawn were black and rotting. The whole town smelled like wet decay. "I'm serious, Dad. Last chance." I should have been scared. A reasonable person would have called the cops. But I wasn't scared. I was tired. Tired of the threats. Tired of the manipulation. Tired of pretending my son hadn't turned into someone I didn't recognize. That's when I heard the voice. "Let them." I spun around. Cal Whitford stood in my kitchen doorway. 6'3", 240 pounds. 62 years old, but still built like a man who'd spent his life hauling steel. His gray hair was buzzed short. His face was hard and weathered. He wore a dark jacket and work boots. I hadn't seen Cal in 15 years. "Cal?" He nodded. "Let them in, Frank. I'll handle it." "What are you doing here?" "Later. Open the door." Another strike against the wood. The frame cracked slightly. I moved to the door. My hand shook as I turned the lock. I opened it. Tyler stood there, sledgehammer raised mid-swing. When he saw me, his face twisted with rage. When he saw Cal behind me, the rage turned to confusion. Then fear. "What?" Tyler started. "Put the hammer down," Cal said. His voice was quiet, calm, the kind of calm that comes from absolute confidence. Tyler lowered the sledgehammer slowly. Vanessa stepped forward, trying to see past me. "Who is that?" she demanded. "Cal Whitford," I said. "Old friend." "Old co-worker," Cal corrected. "Foreman at Henderson's before it closed. Frank and I go way back." Tyler's jaw tightened. "Dad, we need to talk, now." "At midnight? With a sledgehammer?" I asked. "You wouldn't answer your phone." "Because it's midnight." Vanessa pushed forward. "We've been trying to reach you for days. You're avoiding us." "I'm avoiding drama," I said. "Drama?" Vanessa's voice rose. "You call this drama? You owe Tyler money? You owe us an explanation? You owe—" "I don't owe you anything," I said. The words came out harder than I intended, but they were true. Tyler's face flushed. "That's bullshit. After everything I've done for you? After Mom died and After your mother died, you disappeared," I said. "You got married. You moved out. You stopped calling. You only came back when you needed money." "That's not true." "Yes, it is." Vanessa stepped onto the porch. "Listen, old man, we're trying to be civil here, but you're making this difficult. We need to discuss your situation." "My situation?" "You're getting older. You can't maintain this house. You're not thinking clearly." "I'm thinking fine." "Are you?" She looked past me at the living room. This place is a mess. When's the last time you cleaned? When's the last time you had someone check on you? Get off my porch. Tyler's hand tightened on the sledgehammer handle. Dad, we're trying to help, but you're being stubborn. We've talked to a lawyer. We can… A lawyer? I stepped forward. You talked to a lawyer about me? It's for your own good, Vanessa said. We can set up a caretaker arrangement. Tyler can manage your finances. We can make sure you're… Get off my porch. Cal moved past me. He didn't push. He didn't threaten. He just stood there, filling the doorway. His presence was enough. Tyler stepped back. Vanessa grabbed his arm. Who the hell is this guy? Tyler demanded. Someone who knows when to leave, Cal said. For a moment, nobody moved. Rain fell. The porch light flickered. A car passed on the street, headlights sweeping across us. Then Vanessa pulled Tyler away. Come on, we'll deal with this tomorrow. We're not done, Tyler said, pointing at me. We're not even close to done. They walked to their car. A newer model sedan. Financed, I knew. Tyler couldn't afford it on his salary. They climbed in and drove off, tires splashing through puddles. I stood there watching until the taillights disappeared. Cal put a hand on my shoulder. You should close the door. It's cold. I turned to him. Why are you here? Your son came to see me 2 weeks ago, Cal said. He wanted to hire me. Hire you for what? Cal looked at me. His eyes were hard. To convince you to sign over your property. The words hit me like a punch. He offered me $5,000 to strong-arm you, Cal continued. Said you were being difficult. Said you needed someone to make you see reason. And? I told him to go to hell. Cal stepped inside and closed the door behind him. Then I figured I should come check on you myself, make sure you were okay. I moved to the kitchen, poured myself a glass of water. My hands were still shaking. How long have you been here? I asked. About an hour. I knocked. You didn't answer. Door was unlocked. I came in to wait. You broke in? I used the door. That's not breaking in. Cal pulled out a chair and sat at my kitchen table. Frank, what's going on? I sat down across from him, looked at the glass in my hands, watched the water ripple from my trembling. My son wants my house, I said. He wants me out. He wants everything I've worked for. And he's willing to use any method necessary to get it. Cal nodded slowly. Then we need to make sure that doesn't happen. We? You helped me once, Cal said. A long time ago. When Henderson's closed and I was going through my divorce. You lent me money, gave me work, kept me afloat. That was years ago. Doesn't matter. I pay my debts. Cal leaned back. So, what do you want to do about this? I thought about Tyler's face, the rage, the entitlement, the absolute conviction that he deserved what was mine. I want them to understand, I said, that I'm not as weak as they think. Cal smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. Good, then let's get to work. The rest of that night, Cal and I talked. He asked questions. I answered. We drank coffee. We planned. By the time the sun came up, I knew exactly what I was going to do, and I knew it was going to hurt. While you're here, hit the hype button. Don't forget to subscribe and support this channel with a like, and tell us below. Have you ever faced something like this? The next morning came gray and cold. I made eggs and toast. Cal sat at my table reading through papers I'd pulled from a filing cabinet. Your son's been busy, Cal said, holding up a document. This is a quitclaim deed. Pre-filled, just needs your signature. Where'd you find that? In your mailbox, tucked inside a grocery store flyer. I took the paper, stared at it. The language was legal and dense, but the meaning was clear. Sign this, and Tyler gets the house, gets everything. He really thought I'd just sign it, I said. He thinks you're stupid, Cal said. That's his first mistake. I set the paper down. What was his second mistake? Coming after you when I'm in town. I almost laughed. Almost. But there was nothing funny about any of this. How long can you stay? I asked. As long as it takes. You don't have work? Cal shrugged. I'm retired. Got a little pension, got savings, nothing tying me down. He looked at me. Besides, this is more interesting than fishing. I finished my eggs, started planning the day. First, I needed information. I needed to know exactly what Tyler had been doing, what he'd been saying, who he'd been talking to. This town was small, 30,000 people. Everyone knew everyone. Gossip spread like fire through dry grass. If Tyler had been talking about me, people would know. I started with Maureen Phelps. She ran the hardware store downtown, knew everything about everyone. I drove my truck into town. The rain had stopped, but everything was still wet. The streets gleamed, potholes were full of dirty water, the sky was low and gray. Maureen's hardware sat on Main Street between a coffee shop and a consignment store. I parked and walked in. Maureen stood behind the counter, 60-something, short gray hair, reading glasses on a chain around her neck. She looked up when the bell over the door chimed. Frank Holloway, she said. Haven't seen you in a while. Been busy. I heard. She set down the inventory sheet she was working on. Your son was in here last week. Yeah? Bought a sledgehammer, big one, 20-pounder. I felt my jaw tighten. What did he say? Maureen leaned on the counter. He said you'd been having some problems. Said you were getting forgetful. Said he was worried about you. Did he? I told him you seemed fine to me. You've always been sharp as a tack. She paused. But he kept pushing. Said maybe I hadn't seen you lately. Said maybe I didn't know how bad things had gotten. And what did you say? I told him to mind his own business. Maureen crossed her arms. Frank, what's going on? My son's trying to take my house. Her eyes widened. What? He thinks I'm too old to handle my own affairs. He wants to set up some kind of guardianship, force me out. That's insane. That's family. I picked up a package of screws from the counter display, turned it over in my hands. Maureen, has Tyler been talking to other people? Has he been spreading rumors? She hesitated, then nodded. A few people have mentioned it. Said they heard you were having trouble. Said Tyler was being a good son, looking after his father. He's not looking after me. He's positioning himself. Maureen's face hardened. That little bastard. Yeah. What are you going to do? Handle it. I set the screws down. But I need to know who else he's talked to, who else believes his story. Maureen thought for a moment. Linda Reeves at the diner, Bob Carver at the garage, maybe Jerry Wu at the bank. Your son's been making the rounds. Jerry Wu. The bank. That was interesting. Thanks, Maureen. Frank. She touched my arm. If you need anything at all, you call me. I nodded. Walked out. Jerry Wu worked at First National on the corner of Main and Fifth. I'd banked there for 30 years. Jerry knew my finances better than I did. I walked into the bank. It smelled like air conditioning and carpet cleaner. Jerry sat at a desk near the back. When he saw me, his expression shifted. Guilt, maybe, or discomfort. Frank, he said, standing. What brings you in? Need to check on my accounts. Of course, have a seat. I sat. Jerry pulled up my information on his computer. Everything looks normal, he said. Checking accounts healthy. Savings is stable, no issues. Has anyone else been asking about my accounts? Jerry's fingers stopped moving on the keyboard. What do you mean? My son. Has he been in here asking questions? Jerry's face went carefully blank. I can't discuss other customers' inquiries. He's not a customer. I am. And he's my son. So I'm asking. Has he been here? A long pause. Then Jerry sighed. He came in last week. Asked about setting up a joint account. Said you'd agreed to it. Said he needed access to help you manage bills. I never agreed to that. I figured. That's why I told him he'd need your signature and presence before we could do anything. Jerry leaned forward. Frank, is everything okay? No, but I'm working on it. Your son also asked about loans, wanted to know if you'd co-signed anything recently. Have I? No, I checked. Relief washed through me. Good. But Frank, Jerry's voice dropped. He seemed very insistent, like he expected me to help him, like he thought we had some kind of understanding. Did you give him anything? No, I can't. Banking regulations, but he wasn't happy when he left. I stood. Thanks, Jerry. Frank, be careful. Your son seemed desperate. Desperate. That was the word. Tyler was desperate. And desperate people did stupid things. I left the bank and drove home. Cal was in my garage when I got back. He'd pulled out my old tools, wrenches, hammers, drills, everything I'd accumulated over decades of repair work. What are you doing? I asked. Inventory, Cal said, checking what we have, what we might need. Need for what? Cal looked at me. Frank, your son came at you with a sledgehammer. That's escalation. Next time it might be worse. You think he'll come back? I know he will. I walked into the garage, looked at the tools spread across my workbench. My father's old level, my first socket set, a pneumatic drill I'd bought 20 years ago. I'm not going to hurt him, I said. I know, but you need to protect yourself, and you need to be ready. Ready for what? Cal picked up a heavy wrench, weighed it in his hand, ready to fight back. That afternoon, I started making calls. First, I called the town hall, asked about property records, asked if anyone had filed any paperwork regarding my address. The clerk, a woman named Beth, checked her system. There's a pending inquiry, she said, filed by Tyler Holloway. He's requesting information about the property at your address. Owner status, liens, taxes. What kind of inquiry? He claimed he was acting on behalf of the owner, said he needed the information for estate planning purposes. Estate planning? I know. That's why I flagged it. We can't release that information without the owner's consent. Beth paused. Mr. Holloway, is everything all right? Not really, but thank you for not releasing anything. Of course, if he files anything else, I'll let you know. I hung up, looked at Cal. He's been trying to get property records, I said. Trying to figure out how to take the house. Then we need to make sure he can't. How? Cal pulled out his phone, started searching for something, found it, showed me the screen. Protective filing, he said. You file a notice with the county that no changes to property ownership can be made without your direct, in-person authorization. It's used in cases of fraud or family disputes. That's a thing? It's a thing. Costs about $50. Takes one afternoon. Then let's do it. We drove to the county office, filled out the paperwork, paid the fee. The clerk stamped the forms and entered them into the system. You're all set, she said. No one can change ownership or file liens without you present and showing ID. How long does this last? Indefinitely. Or until you cancel it. I felt something loosen in my chest. A little bit of control, returning. Cal and I drove back to my house. On the way, we passed the old construction site on the edge of town. It had been abandoned for years, a half-finished apartment complex that the developer ran out of money for. Now it was just concrete slabs, exposed rebar, and rusting equipment. Remember when that went up? Cal asked. Yeah, 2008, right before the crash. Bad timing. Bad luck. We pulled into my driveway. Vanessa's car was parked on the street. Looks like we have visitors, Cal said. Vanessa stood on my porch. She wore a designer jacket and expensive boots. Her hair was perfect. Her makeup was perfect. She looked like she was going to a photo shoot, not confronting her father-in-law. I got out of the truck, walked up to her. Frank, she said. Her voice was cold. We need to talk. Where's Tyler? At work. I wanted to talk to you alone. About what? She glanced at Cal. Who's he? Friend. And he stays. Vanessa's mouth tightened. Fine. Can we go inside? I unlocked the door. Let her in. Cal followed. My living room felt smaller with Vanessa in it. She looked around with barely concealed disgust, at the old furniture, the stacks of magazines, the photos on the walls. This place is falling apart, she said. I like it. You like living in filth? It's not filth. It's lived in. She turned to face me. Frank, let's be honest. You're not getting any younger. This house is too much for you. You need help. I'm managing fine. Are you? When's the last time you saw a doctor? When's the last time you had the furnace serviced? The roof checked? That's none of your business. It is my business. Tyler's your son. He cares about you. We both do. I almost laughed. Almost. Vanessa, cut the act. I know what you're doing. I know what Tyler's doing. You want this house. Her expression didn't change. We want what's best for you. What's best for me is to be left alone. Is it? You're isolated. You have no one. You spend your days in this dump, talking to no one, doing nothing. I'm retired. That's what retired people do. Retired people stay connected. They stay active. They don't hide. I'm not hiding. Yes, you are. She stepped closer. Tyler told me about your wife, about how she died, about how you shut down after, how you pushed everyone away. Don't talk about my wife. Why not? It's the truth. You couldn't handle losing her. So you gave up, and now you're just waiting to die in this house. Cal moved slightly, not threatening, just a reminder that he was there. Vanessa noticed. Her eyes flicked to him, then back to me. Who is this guy really? She asked. Someone who knows when to leave, Cal said. Same words he'd used on Tyler. Vanessa's jaw tightened. Fine. We'll do this the hard way. She pulled a folder from her bag, dropped it on my coffee table. These are care facility brochures. Tyler and I have been looking. There are some very nice places nearby. Clean, safe, with staff who can help. I don't need a care facility. Not yet. But soon. And when that time comes, this house will need to be sold. To pay for it. I'm not selling. You won't have a choice. She picked up her bag. Tyler's talked to a lawyer. We can petition for guardianship, especially if there are concerns about your mental state. My mental state is fine. Is it? You're paranoid. You think we're trying to hurt you. You've brought some stranger into your home. She looked at Cal again. That's not rational behavior, Frank. I felt my hands clench. Get out. We're trying to help. Get out. She stared at me, then picked up the folder. You'll thank us later, when you're somewhere safe and clean, when people are taking care of you. She walked to the door, paused. Tyler loves you, she said, even if you can't see it. Then she left. Cal and I stood in silence. She's building a case, Cal said finally, making you look unstable, paranoid, incapable. I know. If they petition for guardianship and can show evidence that you're not thinking clearly. I know. Cal looked at me. Then we need to be smarter. We need to show everyone that you're fine, that you're sharp, that you're the one thinking clearly. How? By making them reveal who they really are. Cal moved to the window, looked out at the street. Your son wants a fight. Let's give him one. But on our terms. I thought about that. Thought about Tyler's face, Vanessa's cold confidence. What do you have in mind? I asked. Cal smiled. You'll see. The cameras caught them 2 nights later. I was asleep when Cal shook me awake. Frank, get up. I fumbled for the lamp. What? Someone's outside. I grabbed my glasses, followed Cal to the living room. He had his phone out showing me the security camera feed. 2 figures moved in my driveway, dark clothes, hoods up. They were crouched by my truck. Is that Tyler? I asked. Cal zoomed in. Can't tell. Too dark. One of the figures stood, walked to my front porch, started spraying something on the door. Paint. Red paint. Big dripping letters. Crazy old man. The figures moved to the garage door. More paint. This time, dangerous. Cal was already moving. I'm going out there. Wait. But he was gone. Out the back door. Moving fast for a man his age. I watched on the phone. Saw Cal emerge from the side of the house. The two figures saw him. Dropped the paint cans. Ran. Cal didn't chase them. He just stood there, watching them disappear down the street. A few minutes later, he came back inside. Did you see who it was? I asked. No, but one of them ran like a woman. Uneven stride. Smaller build. Vanessa. Maybe. I looked at the camera feed again. At the red paint. The words. They're trying to make me look unstable, I said. Make the neighbors think I'm dangerous. It's working. I saw lights come on across the street. People are watching. Good. Cal raised an eyebrow. Good? Let them watch. Let them see what Tyler and Vanessa are really doing. They'll just see the paint. They won't know who did it. Then we'll show them. I grabbed my coat, went outside. The cold air hit me. The paint was still wet, dripping down my door and garage. Across the street, Dorothy Ramirez stood on her porch in a bathrobe. She was 70, lived alone, knew everything that happened on this block. Frank? She called. What's going on? I walked across the street. Someone vandalized my house. I saw two people running. Do you know who they were? I think so. Dorothy's eyes widened. Your son? I don't know for sure, but probably. Why would he do that? Because he wants my house, and he wants everyone to think I'm crazy so he can take it. Dorothy's hand went to her mouth. That's horrible. Yeah. Have you called the police? Not yet. You should. This is a crime. I looked back at my house, at the red paint, at Cal standing in the doorway, watching. I will, I said, but not tonight. Why not? Because I want to see what they do next. Dorothy looked confused. Frank, that doesn't make sense. Trust me. I went back inside. Cal was wiping paint off the door with a rag. What are you doing? I asked. Cleaning, before it dries. Leave it. Frank, leave it. I want everyone to see it. I want them to know what Tyler's doing. Cal stopped, set down the rag. You're using this? Yes. How? I'm going to call the police tomorrow. File a report. Get it documented. Then I'm going to tell everyone I know that my son is harassing me. What if people think you're making it up? They won't. Not when they see the paint. Not when they hear the whole story. Cal smiled slowly. You're getting good at this. I'm a fast learner. The next morning, I called the police. An officer came by around 10. His name was Davis. Young guy, mid-30s, polite but skeptical. Mr. Holloway, he said, standing on my porch. You reported vandalism? Yes, I showed him the paint. Happened around 2 in the morning. Davis took photos. Do you know who did it? I think it was my son. Davis looked up from his phone. Your son? Yes. Why would your son vandalize your property? Because he wants me out of this house. I explained everything. The midnight visit with the sledgehammer, the quitclaim deed, the bank inquiries, the meeting at the diner, the cut fuel line. Davis listened, took notes. His expression stayed carefully neutral. Mr. Holloway, do you have any proof it was your son? Security cameras caught 2 people. I can send you the footage. Please do. But can you identify them in the footage? Not clearly. But who else would do this? Davis put his notepad away. Mr. Holloway, I understand you're having family issues, but without clear evidence, I can't charge anyone with a crime. So he gets away with it? I didn't say that. I'll take your report. I'll review the footage. If I can identify the suspects, I'll follow up. And if you can't? Davis hesitated. Then it becomes a civil matter. You might want to talk to a lawyer. I see. Davis handed me a card. If anything else happens, call me directly. Don't wait. Thank you. He left. Cal came out from the kitchen. What did he say? He can't do anything without proof. Figures. But I have a report now. Documentation. That's what matters. I spent the rest of the day spreading the word. I called Maureen at the hardware store. Told her what happened. That's terrible, she said. Are you okay? I'm fine. Just wanted you to know in case anyone asks. Of course, Frank. If you need anything. I know, thanks. I called Jerry at the bank. Left a message. I called the diner. Asked Linda if she'd heard about the incident. I heard you and Tyler had an argument here yesterday, she said. We did. And last night someone painted threats on my house. You think it was Tyler? Who else? Linda was quiet for a moment. Frank, Tyler and Vanessa came back after you left. They were upset, talking about you, saying you'd gone off the deep end. What else did they say? That you'd been acting paranoid, that you'd brought some stranger to live with you, that they were worried. They're building a narrative, I said, making me look unstable. Are you stable? Yes. Then why did you bring a stranger to live with you? He's not a stranger. He's an old friend. And I brought him in because my son showed up at midnight with a sledgehammer. Linda took a breath. Frank, I've known you for 20 years. You're one of the most sensible people I know. If you say Tyler's trying to hurt you, I believe you. Thank you. But be careful. If this turns into a he said, she said situation, it's going to get ugly. It's already ugly. I hung up. By afternoon, half the town knew about the vandalism. The other half knew about my argument with Tyler at the diner. People were talking, and people were choosing sides. Some believed me. Some believed Tyler. Most just wanted to watch the drama unfold. That evening, Vanessa's mother called. Frank, Patricia said. Her voice was cold. We need to talk. About what? About what you're doing to my daughter and Tyler. What I'm doing to them. You're spreading lies. You're telling people they're trying to steal your house. You're making them look like criminals. They are criminals. They vandalized my property. You have no proof of that. I have security footage. Of 2 unidentified people. That doesn't prove anything. I felt my jaw tighten. Patricia, your daughter and my son are trying to force me out of my home. They've lied to me, manipulated me, tried to make me sign away my property. And when that didn't work, they escalated to vandalism and threats. That's your interpretation. That's reality. No, Frank. Reality is that you're a lonely old man who's losing his grip on things, who's lashing out at the people trying to help him. Is that what Vanessa told you? That's what I see. Then you're not looking hard enough. Patricia's voice rose. Tyler is your son, your only child, and you're destroying him. Do you understand that? You're destroying your own son to protect a house. I'm protecting myself from a son who's become someone I don't recognize. Because of you, because you pushed him away, because after his mother died, you shut down and refused to let anyone in. His mother died 5 years ago. He had 3 years before he met Vanessa. 3 years where we were fine. Then she came along and poisoned him against me. Vanessa loves Tyler. She's trying to help him build a life. By stealing mine? Silence. Then Patricia spoke again, quieter this time. Frank, I'm going to say this once. Back off. Stop spreading rumors. Stop fighting Tyler and Vanessa. Or I'll make sure everyone in this town knows exactly what kind of man you are. What kind of man is that? The kind who abandoned his son after losing his wife. The kind who's so bitter and broken that he can't stand to see anyone else happy. You don't know anything about me. I know enough. And if you keep pushing, you'll find out just how much damage I can do. She hung up. Cal looked at me. Trouble? Vanessa's mother. She's joining the fight. Expected. What did she say? That I'm destroying Tyler. That I'm bitter and broken. Are you? I looked at him. What? Are you bitter and broken? I don't know. Maybe. Good. Good? If you were perfect, you wouldn't have anything to fight for. But you're not perfect. You're human. And that makes you real. I thought about that. About my wife. About the years after she died. About the silence in this house. I did shut down, I said. After she died. I didn't know how to handle it. How to keep going. But you did keep going. Barely. Barely's enough. Cal stood. Frank, you're not fighting Tyler because you're bitter. You're fighting him because he's wrong. He's trying to take what's not his. And you're not going to let him. What if I lose? Then you lose. But at least you'll lose fighting. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about Tyler, about Vanessa, about my wife. She would have hated this, all of it. The fighting, the accusations, the family falling apart. But she wasn't here, and I had to deal with it alone. Around 2 a.m, I got up, went to the kitchen, made coffee. Cal was already there, sitting at the table in the dark. Can't sleep either? I asked. Sleep's overrated. I poured 2 cups, sat down. Cal, I said, why are you really here? He looked at me. I told you, you helped me once. That's not enough. Not for this. There's something else. Cal was quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke. Your son came to me 2 weeks ago, he said. Offered me $5,000 to strong-arm you. I told him to go to hell. But before he left, he said something that stuck with me. What? He said, my father's weak. He always has been, and weak people deserve to be pushed aside. I felt something twist in my chest. That's when I knew, Cal continued, that your son had turned into something ugly, something that needed to be stopped. And you think I can stop him? I think you have to try. Cal leaned forward. Frank, 15 years ago, when you lent me money, you didn't just save me financially. You saved me from becoming like your son, from becoming bitter and entitled and cruel. I didn't do anything special. Yes, you did. You treated me like I mattered, like I deserved a second chance. Cal's eyes were hard. Now I'm returning the favor. We sat in silence, drinking coffee, watching the darkness outside. Somewhere in the night, Tyler and Vanessa were planning their next move. And I was planning mine. I was driving home from the hardware store. Cold afternoon, gray sky. Traffic light ahead turned yellow. I hit the brakes. Nothing happened. The pedal went to the floor. No resistance. No stopping. I pumped the brakes. Nothing. The intersection was coming fast. Cross traffic. A minivan entering from the right. I yanked the emergency brake. The truck slowed slightly, but not enough. I cranked the wheel, jumped the curb, missed the minivan by inches, slammed into a light pole. The impact threw me forward. Seatbelt caught. Airbag exploded. Everything went white. Then dark. Then white again. I sat there, ears ringing, chest aching. Steam hissed from under the hood. People were running toward me. Someone pulled the door open. Sir? Sir, are you okay? I nodded. Couldn't speak. An ambulance came. Paramedics checked me over. No serious injuries. Bruised chest from the seatbelt. Minor whiplash. You're lucky, one of them said. A few more feet, and you would have T-boned that van. Lucky. Yeah. A cop showed up. Different officer. Older. His name was Hendricks. Mr. Holloway, he said, can you tell me what happened? My brakes failed. Failed how? They just didn't work. I hit the pedal and nothing happened. Hendricks looked at the truck. When's the last time you had them serviced? 6 months ago. Any warning signs? Sounds? Soft pedal? No, they were fine yesterday. Hendricks made notes. We'll have the truck towed. Get a mechanic to look at it. I want to be there when they do. Sir, you should go to the hospital. Get checked out properly. I'm fine. You just crashed into a pole. And I'm fine. I want to know what happened to my truck. Hendricks studied me. All right, we'll tow it to Morton's garage. You can meet us there. Cal picked me up 20 minutes later. I called him from the scene. What the hell happened? He asked, pulling up in his old Silverado. Someone cut my brake lines. Are you sure? Not yet, but I will be. We followed the tow truck to Morton's garage. Dave Morton owned it. I'd known him for years. Straight shooter. Good mechanic. Dave met us in the bay. Frank, heard you had some excitement. Yeah, let's take a look. He got under the truck with a light. Cal and I watched. Officer Hendricks stood nearby, arms crossed. After a few minutes, Dave rolled out from under. Your brake lines are cut, he said. Cut how? Hendricks asked. Scored with something sharp. Not all the way through, just enough to weaken them. Pressure would have done the rest. Dave stood, wiped his hands on a rag. Frank, this is deliberate. Someone wanted your brakes to fail. Hendricks looked at me. Any idea who? My son. Mr. Holloway, that's a serious accusation. It's the truth. Can you prove it? No. But who else would do this? Hendricks pulled out his phone, made a call, spoke quietly for a minute, hung up. I'm going to need a statement, he said, and I'm going to need to talk to your son. Good. We went to the station. I gave my statement, told them everything. The sledgehammer, the vandalism, the threats, the escalation. Hendricks listened, took notes. Mr. Holloway, I've reviewed Officer Davis's report from a few days ago about the vandalism. Combined with this incident, I think we have grounds to bring your son in for questioning. Thank you. But I need you to understand something. Without direct evidence, video of him under your truck, fingerprints, witnesses, we might not be able to charge him. I understand. And even if we do charge him, he'll probably post bail immediately. He won't be held. I just want it on record. I want people to know what he's doing. Hendricks nodded. We'll do what we can. That evening, 2 officers went to Tyler's apartment, brought him in for questioning. Cal and I waited at my house, watched the security cameras, waited for something to happen. Around 9, my phone rang. Tyler. I answered. Yeah? You called the cops on me? Tyler's voice was shaking. Rage or fear, I couldn't tell. You cut my brake lines. I didn't touch your truck. Someone did, and you're the only person with a reason. Why not? You've tried everything else. Dad, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to keep you safe. By making my brakes fail? By painting threats on my door? I didn't do those things. Then who did? Tyler went quiet. Tyler, I said, who did you tell about our situation? Who knows you want my house? Just Vanessa and her mother. Anyone else? No. You're lying. I'm not. You told someone else. Someone who's been helping you. Someone who's willing to do things you won't. Silence. Then, I need to go. Tyler. He hung up. Cal looked at me. What was that? He's protecting someone. Who? I don't know. But whoever it is, they're the one who cut my brake lines. Not Tyler. Tyler's a coward. He'll threaten. He'll manipulate. But actual violence? That's someone else. Cal frowned. Then we need to figure out who. I thought about Tyler's friends, his co-workers, people he knew. Vanessa, I said. What about her? She's the one who's been pushing this. Tyler wants my house, but Vanessa's the one orchestrating everything. She's the one who's smart enough, cold enough to hire someone. Hire someone to do what? To scare me. Hurt me. Cal's expression darkened. That's attempted murder. That's desperation. We sat in silence for a while. We need to be careful, Cal said. If she's willing to go that far, she won't stop. I know. What are you going to do? I thought about Vanessa, about her perfect smile, her designer clothes, her absolute conviction that she deserved everything. "I'm going to take away everything she wants," I said, starting with Tyler. The next morning, I called Tyler's employer again. "Ms. Winters," I said when she answered. "This is Frank Holloway, Tyler's father." "Mr. Holloway, I heard about your accident. Are you all right?" "I'm fine, thank you. How can I help you?" "I wanted to let you know that Tyler was questioned by police yesterday, in connection with the accident." A pause. "What?" "Someone tampered with my vehicle. The police suspect Tyler." "Mr. Holloway, I don't know what to say. I'm not asking you to do anything. I just thought you should know, in case it affects his work." "I appreciate you telling me. I'll keep an eye on the situation." "Thank you." I hung up. Next, I called Vanessa's friends, the ones she'd been using to spread gossip about me. First was Jennifer Moss. She ran a mommy blog. Lots of followers. Lots of influence in local social circles. "This is Jennifer," she answered. "Ms. Moss, my name is Frank Holloway. I'm Vanessa Holloway's father-in-law." "Oh, hi. I'm calling because I understand you and Vanessa are friends." "We are. Is everything okay?" "Not really. Vanessa's been spreading rumors about me, telling people I'm mentally unstable, that I need to be put in a care facility. I don't know what to say." "You don't have to say anything. I just wanted you to know the truth. Vanessa and my son are trying to force me out of my home. They've been harassing me, vandalizing my property. Yesterday, someone tampered with my vehicle and I almost died. That's terrible. The police suspect Tyler and Vanessa. I thought you should know who you're associating with." A long pause. "Mr. Holloway, thank you for calling. I'll keep that in mind. That's all I ask." I hung up. By noon, I'd called 6 of Vanessa's friends, told them all the same thing, planted the same seeds. Cal watched me make the calls, didn't say anything. When I finished, he spoke. "You're burning her social standing." "Yes. She'll retaliate." "Good. Let her. The more she reacts, the more guilty she looks." That afternoon, Vanessa called. "What the hell are you doing?" she screamed. "I'm telling the truth." "You're telling lies. You're trying to ruin my life." "No, I'm trying to protect mine." "By calling my friends? By spreading garbage about me?" "I didn't spread garbage. I told them what you've been doing." "I haven't done anything." "You vandalized my house. You or someone you hired cut my brake lines." "That's insane." "Then who did it?" Vanessa's voice dropped. Cold now, controlled. "Frank, you're making a mistake, a big mistake." "Is that a threat?" "It's a promise. You keep coming after me and I'll destroy you. I'll make sure everyone in this town thinks you're a crazy old man. I'll make sure you lose everything." "You can try. I will. And I'll win. Because I'm smarter than you, I'm stronger than you, and I have nothing to lose." She hung up. Cal looked at me. "She's rattled." "Yes. That makes her dangerous." "I know." That night, I barely slept. Every sound made me jump. Every shadow outside looked like someone approaching. Cal stayed up too. Sat in the living room with the lights off, watching the security cameras. Around 3 in the morning, he came to my bedroom. "Frank, we have movement." I got up, followed him to the living room. On the security feed, a car was parked down the street. Dark sedan, lights off. Someone sat in the driver's seat, just sitting, watching my house. "How long have they been there?" I asked. "About 10 minutes. Can you see who it is?" "No, too dark." We watched, waited. After another 5 minutes, the car started, drove away slowly. "They're watching," Cal said. "Figuring out when you're home, when you're vulnerable." "Should I call the police?" "And tell them what? Someone parked on a public street?" "There has to be something we can do." Cal looked at me. "There is. We stop waiting for them to come to us. We go after them." "How?" "We find out who's helping Vanessa. We find out who cut your brake lines, and we make them confess." "And if they don't?" Cal smiled. It was a hard smile. Then we make them wish they had. The next day, Cal and I started hunting. We began with Vanessa's known associates, friends, family, people she'd been seen with. Cal had skills I didn't. He knew how to follow people without being noticed, knew how to ask questions without raising suspicion, knew how to dig. 20 years as a foreman, he said. You learn to figure out who's lying and who's not. We started with Jennifer Moss, the mommy blogger. Cal followed her for a day. Grocery store, coffee shop, yoga class, nothing suspicious. She's clean, Cal said, or at least not involved. Next was Amanda Wells, another friend of Vanessa's. Worked at a real estate office. Cal followed her too. Same result. Normal routine. No connection to anything. By the end of the week, we'd checked 6 people. Maybe Vanessa's working alone, Cal said. She's not smart enough. She needs someone. Then who? I thought about it, about who Vanessa spent time with, who she trusted. Her mother, I said. Patricia? She's been defending Vanessa since day 1. She threatened me on the phone. Threatening's not the same as committing attempted murder. No, but she might know who did. Cal considered that. How do we get to her? We don't. We make her come to us. How? I pulled out my phone, called Tyler. He didn't answer. I left a message. Tyler, it's Dad. I need to talk to you. In person. No lawyers, no Vanessa, just you and me. Meet me at the old construction site tomorrow, noon. If you don't come, I'm going to the newspaper and telling them everything. I hung up. Cal looked at me. You think he'll show? He'll show. He's too curious not to. What about Vanessa? She'll follow him. She won't let him go alone. Then what? Then we see who else shows up. The old construction site sat on the eastern edge of town, abandoned for 15 years. Concrete slabs, half-finished walls, rusting scaffolding, piles of gravel and broken equipment. Nobody went there. It was too dangerous. The ground was uneven. The structures were unstable. Perfect for a confrontation. Cal and I arrived at 11, an hour early. We parked on a side road and walked in. The site was bigger than I remembered. 3 acres of abandoned construction. A skeleton of what was supposed to be luxury apartments. We found a good spot, behind a concrete wall, clear view of the entrance. If Tyler comes alone, we talk, I said. If Vanessa comes, we watch. And if someone else shows up, then we know who's been helping them. We waited. At noon, Tyler's car appeared. He parked at the entrance, got out slowly, looked around. He was alone. Stay here, I said to Cal. Frank, he won't hurt me, not in daylight, not when he knows someone might be watching. I walked out from behind the wall. Tyler saw me. His face tightened. Dad. Tyler. We stood 20 feet apart. The ground between us was cracked concrete and weeds. Why here? Tyler asked. Because I didn't want an audience. What do you want? I want you to tell me the truth. About what? About everything. The vandalism, the brake lines, all of it. Tyler's jaw clenched. I didn't touch your truck. But you know who did. He didn't answer. I didn't know. You didn't know what? That cutting brake lines was dangerous? I didn't cut your brakes. Then who did? Tyler's hands were shaking. I don't know. You're lying. I'm not. Yes, you are. And you've been lying this whole time. About wanting to help me. About being concerned. All of it's been lies. Tyler's face crumpled. For a moment, he looked like the boy I'd raised. Young, scared, uncertain. Dad, I'm in trouble. What kind of trouble? Money trouble. Vanessa and I, we're drowning. The apartment, the car, her shopping, we can't keep up. So you decided to take my house? It wasn't supposed to be like this. We were just going to help you, set up the joint account, make sure you were taken care of. And then what? Wait for me to die? Tyler flinched. No. We were going to convince you to move. To a care facility. Somewhere safe. Safe for who? Me or you? Both. I stepped closer. Tyler, you're my son. I love you. But I don't like you anymore. You've become someone I don't recognize. That's not fair. It's true. I stopped a few feet from him. And the worst part is, you don't even see it. You actually believe you're doing the right thing. I am doing the right thing. By trying to rob your own father? You don't need that house. You're alone. You don't do anything. You just sit there, wasting space. The words hung in the air. Tyler realized what he'd said, tried to backtrack. Dad, I didn't mean… Yes, you did. I'm just frustrated. We're struggling and you're sitting on all this equity. So it's about money. It's about fairness. Mom worked hard for that house. She'd want me to have it. No, she wouldn't. How do you know? Because she knew you. She knew you were selfish, entitled. She tried to correct it, but I wouldn't let her. I thought you'd grow out of it. I shook my head. I was wrong. Tyler's face was red. Screw you. There it is. The real Tyler. You think you're so much better than me? You're not. You're just a bitter old man who can't accept that his wife died and left him alone. Maybe. But at least I'm not trying to steal from my own family. This isn't stealing, this is survival. No. This is greed. Tyler's hands clenched into fists. I should have let Vanessa handle this, she was right. You're too stubborn to reason with. Vanessa? This was her idea? Tyler went quiet. It was, wasn't it? She's the one who pushed you into this. Vanessa just wants what's best for us. Vanessa wants money. She doesn't care how she gets it. She loves me. She loves what she thinks you can give her. And when you can't, she'll leave. Tyler's face twisted. You're wrong. Am I? When's the last time she supported you without asking for something in return? Shut up. When's the last time she built you up instead of tearing you down? Shut up! Tyler lunged at me. Cal appeared from behind the wall, grabbed Tyler's arm, twisted it behind his back. Tyler yelped, struggled. Cal held firm. Let him go, I said. Cal released him. Tyler stumbled forward, spun around. Who the hell is this guy? Tyler shouted. Someone who knows when to step in, Cal said calmly. Tyler looked between us. You planned this. You set me up. I wanted to talk. You escalated. Because you provoked me. By telling the truth? Tyler's face was flushed, breathing hard. I'm done. I'm done with you. With this house. With all of it. Good. I'm calling a lawyer. I'm filing for guardianship, and I'm going to win. No, you won't. Yes, I will, because I'll tell them everything. How you're unstable, how you've been threatening me, how you've turned violent. I haven't touched you. Your friend did. That's assault. I can press charges. Cal smiled. Go ahead. I'd love to tell a judge why I had to restrain you. Tyler's jaw worked. Then he turned and walked to his car. Before he got in, he looked back. You're going to regret this, Dad. I already do. Tyler drove off. Cal and I stood there, watching the dust settle. That went well, Cal said dryly. He's scared. That's good. Scared people are dangerous. So are desperate ones. We walked back to Cal's truck. On the way, Cal's phone buzzed. He checked it. Security camera alert, he said. Someone's at your house. Who? Cal pulled up the feed. Showed me. Vanessa. She was standing on my porch, holding something. We need to get back, I said. We drove fast. 10 minutes later, we pulled onto my street. Vanessa's car was in my driveway. She stood by her trunk, loading boxes into it. My boxes from my garage. What the hell? I muttered. I jumped out. Cal followed. Vanessa! She turned. Didn't look surprised. Didn't look guilty. Frank? What are you doing? Taking what's mine. Those are my tools, my belongings. Not anymore. She closed the trunk. Tyler and I are done playing nice. You want a war? You've got one. Put those boxes back. No. I moved toward the trunk. Vanessa stepped in front of me. Touch my car and I'll call the cops. Claim you assaulted me. Cal moved up beside me. You really want to do this? Vanessa looked at him. Who are you again? Oh, right. The thug Frank hired to intimidate us. I'm not a thug. No? Then what are you? Some washed-up loser who has nothing better to do than help an old man fight his own son? Cal's expression didn't change, but I saw his hands tighten. Vanessa, I said, put the boxes back. Walk away. We can end this now. End it how? With you keeping everything and us getting nothing? You're not entitled to anything. Yes, I am. Tyler's your son. He deserves a share of what you've built. He deserves what I choose to give him, which right now is nothing. Vanessa's eyes narrowed. You're making a mistake. You keep saying that. Because it's true. Tyler and I are prepared to go to court, to file for guardianship, to prove you're incompetent. Good luck with that. We'll win. And when we do, we'll take everything. The house, your savings, your pension, everything. She got in her car, started the engine. You can't stop us, she said through the window. We've already won. She drove off. I stood there, staring at her taillights. Cal put a hand on my shoulder. Frank, they took my tools. We'll get them back. How? Cal looked at me. By making them give them back. They won't. Then we'll make them wish they had. That night, I made a decision. I was done playing defense, done reacting, done waiting for Tyler and Vanessa to make the next move. It was time to go on offense. Time to hit them where it hurt. Time to take everything away. I started with Vanessa's job. She worked at a marketing firm downtown, mid-level position, decent pay. She liked to brag about it, how important she was, how much influence she had. I called the firm, asked for the owner. This is Richard Brennan, a man answered. Mr. Brennan, my name is Frank Holloway. I need to discuss one of your employees, Vanessa Holloway. Is there a problem? Yes. Vanessa's been using your company resources to harass me, sending threatening messages from work email, making calls during business hours. That's a serious allegation. I have records, timestamps, email headers. Would you like me to send them to you? A pause. Please do. I will. But I wanted to give you a heads up first. Vanessa's been involved in criminal activity, vandalism, possible attempted murder. The police are investigating. Murder? Someone tampered with my vehicle. I nearly died. The police suspect Vanessa and her husband. Mr. Holloway, I appreciate you bringing this to my attention. I'll look into it. Thank you. I hung up. The records I mentioned didn't exist, but Brennan didn't know that, and the idea would plant itself in his mind. He'd start paying attention, watching Vanessa, questioning her behavior. Next, I called Tyler's landlord. Henderson Property Management, a woman answered. I need to speak to whoever manages the units on Maple Street. That's me, Angela Henderson. Ms. Henderson, I'm calling about Tyler Holloway, Unit 7B. Is there a problem? He's been using the apartment for illegal activity. What kind of activity? Planning harassment and vandalism, possibly storing stolen property. Those are serious accusations. Do you have proof? The police are investigating. I just thought you should know, in case there are complaints from other tenants. I haven't received any complaints. Not yet, but you might. Angela was quiet for a moment. Mr. Holloway, if the police are investigating, I'll need to see a report or a warrant before I can take action. I understand. I just wanted to give you advance notice. I appreciate that. I hung up. Again, it was a seed, nothing concrete, but enough to make the landlord watch, to make her question. Cal watched me make the calls. You're sabotaging their lives. Yes, that's cold. They don't get sympathy anymore. Fair enough. That afternoon, I went to the bank. Jerry Wu looked nervous when he saw me. Frank, how are you? I've been better. I need to close my savings account. Close it? Why? Precaution. I don't trust that Tyler and Vanessa won't try something. I want the money somewhere they can't touch. We have safeguards. I know. But I'd feel better if it was somewhere else. Jerry nodded slowly. All right, I can process that. Where do you want the funds transferred? Cash. Cash? Frank, that's not safe. Neither is leaving it in an account Tyler knows about. Jerry hesitated, then processed the withdrawal. It took an hour. Paperwork, verification, security checks. When it was done, I walked out with a bank bag containing $43,000. Cal raised an eyebrow when he saw it. You're carrying that much cash? Temporarily. Where are you putting it? Safe deposit box, different bank, different town. Smart. We drove to the next town over, found a small credit union, opened a safe deposit box, put the cash inside. Tyler and Vanessa can't access this, I said. No, but they're going to notice the money's gone. Good. Let them panic. That night, I got a call from Patricia, Vanessa's mother. Frank, what the hell did you do? I protected my assets. You withdrew all your savings? Do you have any idea how suspicious that looks? I don't care how it looks. Tyler and Vanessa are trying to help you manage your finances and you're hiding money? That's exactly the kind of behavior that proves you need a guardian. Or it proves I'm smart enough to protect myself. No, Frank. It proves you're paranoid and unstable. Think whatever you want. We're moving forward with the guardianship petition. Tyler's lawyer is filing the paperwork tomorrow. Good luck. You think you're so clever, don't you? You think you can outsmart everyone? I don't need to outsmart everyone. Just Tyler and Vanessa. They're going to win, Frank. They're going to take everything, and you're going to end up in a state facility with nothing. Maybe. But at least I'll go down fighting. Patricia's voice dropped. Cold. Calculated. You're going to regret this. Everyone keeps saying that, but I'm still here. She hung up. Cal looked at me. She's right about one thing. If they file for guardianship and can make a case that you're hiding assets out of paranoia, it'll hurt you. I know. So what's the plan? We prove they're the ones who are unfit, not me. How? I thought about it. About everything Tyler and Vanessa had done. The lies, the manipulation, the vandalism, the attempted murder. We get them to confess, I said. They're not going to confess. Not willingly. But if we push them hard enough, they'll slip. Cal leaned back. What do you have in mind? We make them think they've won, then we pull the rug out. Explain. Tyler and Vanessa think they're in control. They think they've got me cornered, but they're making mistakes, getting sloppy. We just need to give them a little more rope. And then we hang them with it. The next day, the guardianship petition was filed. I got a copy in the mail, official letterhead, legal language, a hearing scheduled in 2 weeks. The petition claimed I was suffering from cognitive decline, that I was unable to manage my finances, that I was a danger to myself. It cited the withdrawn savings as evidence, the erratic behavior of bringing a stranger to live with me, the paranoid accusations against my son. Cal read it, shook his head. This is garbage, pure fiction. It's strategy. They're painting a picture. True or not doesn't matter if the judge believes it. So what do? We get a lawyer. Fight back. I called around. Found a lawyer willing to take the case. Her name was Linda Cross. Mid-40s, sharp, no nonsense. We met at her office downtown. Mr. Holloway, she said, shaking my hand. Tell me what's going on. I explained everything. The sledgehammer, the vandalism, the cut brake lines, the stolen tools, the guardianship petition. Linda listened. Took notes. Didn't interrupt. When I finished, she leaned back. This is ugly. I know. But you have a strong case. Your son and daughter-in-law have been harassing you, attempting to steal your property. The evidence is on your side. What about the withdrawn savings? That's trickier. It does look paranoid. I was protecting myself. I understand, but a judge might see it differently. Linda tapped her pen on the desk. We need to show that you're competent, sharp, rational. We need character witnesses, medical evaluations, financial records proving you're managing your affairs properly. I can get all that. Good. And we need to discredit Tyler and Vanessa, show they're the ones acting irrationally. How? By highlighting their behavior, the vandalism, the threats, the break lines. Linda looked at me. Do you have proof of any of this? Security footage of the vandalism, police reports, mechanic's statement about the break lines. That's good. We'll use all of it. She paused. Mr. Holloway, I need to ask you something. Do you want to win this case, or do you want to destroy your son? I thought about Tyler's face, his anger, his entitlement. I want to protect myself, I said. If that destroys Tyler, that's his fault. Linda nodded. All right, then let's get to work. The next 2 weeks were a blur. Medical evaluations. I went to 3 different doctors. All confirmed I was healthy, sharp, no signs of cognitive decline, financial audits. I provided bank statements, tax returns, proof that I'd been managing my money responsibly for decades, character witnesses, Maureen from the hardware store, Jerry from the bank, Linda from the diner, Dave Morton from the garage. All agreed to testify on my behalf. Meanwhile, Cal kept digging into Tyler and Vanessa's activities. He found out Vanessa had been fired from her job. The call I made to Richard Brennan had prompted an investigation. Vanessa had been using company resources for personal business, sending emails about me during work hours. Tyler's landlord had started eviction proceedings. Too many noise complaints. Too many late rent payments. They were falling apart, and I was just getting started. The night before the hearing, I couldn't sleep. I sat in my living room staring at old photos. My wife, Tyler as a boy, holidays, birthdays, better times. Cal came in, sat down across from me. You okay? He asked. No. Want to talk about it? I'm about to go to court against my own son, to fight for the right to keep what's mine. How am I supposed to be okay with that? Cal didn't answer right away. Then, Frank, you didn't start this. Tyler did. You're just finishing it. I know, but it still hurts. It should. If it didn't, you'd be like him. I looked at Cal. Do you think I'm doing the right thing? Yes. Why? Because standing up for yourself is always right, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. I nodded, set the photos down. Tomorrow, I said. It ends tomorrow. One way or another. I went to bed, tried to sleep, failed. At some point, I drifted off. When I woke, the sun was up. It was time.